in my own hometown. Stranger.
Hey folks, Little John, and about to do the taste test comparison on the US-05 versus BRY-97 yeast experiment. Now, as with the normal blind testings, I've had the daughter open the bottles for me, and they're sitting here with the caps face down, so I don't know which is which. Got the 3 bottles, so 2 of one, 1 of the other. And after doing the last experiment, which was the US-05 versus the Mangrove Jack's M44, where it was very visually obvious which one was the different beer, I went out and I got myself a couple of frosted glasses. This was just a little bit of a birthday present. So some frosted, 2 extra dry glasses. They're frosted, so I can't really see the beer particularly. So don't know where we are there, but just a quick run through on what we did with this. So I've done a fairly basic pale ale recipe, mostly Vienna, with a little bit of Dex and some Carahel, and I used a bit of Topaz for bittering, and ran a bit. I actually did a late hopping on this one, a bit of a play around while I was going. So we've got Simcoe, some Galaxy, which went in dry. No, sorry, the Galaxy was a flame out. Simcoe 2 minutes, and some Citra on a dry hop. Actually, no, there's a hop stand on there. The Galaxy was on a hop stand anyway. That's pretty much irrelevant. But as for the brewing process and how she went, we pitched at 10:36 and put them into the fridge at 18 degrees, and let them go from there. And after 24 hours in the fermenter, both brews were looking pretty much the same. A little bit of pressure in the airlock, but no real sign of bubbling. 24 hours later, so 48 hours in, so 2 days, and things started to change quite a bit. The 05 had a 1-inch Krausen, and the actual sample was quite frothy in the hydro, and it had dropped 2 points to 1034. At the same time as that, the 97 had probably half again as much Krausen. Wasn't much froth at all in the hydrometer sample, but it had dropped to 1028. It had dropped 8 points as opposed to US-05, which had dropped 2. So it had fired off and got going a lot quicker. And that pattern sort of remained the same for the next couple of days. The 05 had a smaller Krausen. Samples were frothier. 97, the froth, the actual Krausen had increased by the 3rd day and stayed that bit bigger. at the end of the third day, the 97 was down to 10.18. So at that point, so it was running 8 points ahead after 3 days. So it really got the ferment happening a lot quicker. Day 4, 5, 97 was done. The 05 had sort of caught up by day 5 and was around the same point. It was still 2 points behind. And that's where I dry hopped the Citra. And dropped the temperature from day 9 and held it there for a couple of days before bottling was actually, so it was held for 5 days. Final gravities, the 05 come out at 10.08 and the 97 at 10.07, so the 97's got the job started quicker, got through the ferment quicker, and has finished just a little bit lower. So it's not much, it's only 1 point. Not a massive difference. So that's where the ferment went, and we'll keep trying these and see how we go. And this beer's got a really nice nose to it. That late Citra and Galaxy's really nice. It's a nice brew, it's nice and light bodied. It's got a nice amount of flavour there, not a huge amount. And I said it's all been late hopped. I have been trying this one on the keg. I combined half a keg of each batch, and I've been drinking that for a little while. This one's taken bottled. It was bottled on 27th of April, so it's been in the bottle now for 5 weeks. So I've been drinking off the keg for about 3. So this has had plenty of time to sort of settle. And looking there, even with the frosted glass, you can see that that's nice and clear and clean. And these all do taste fairly similar. And that middle one there seems to have a little more, just a bit more depth of flavour than this one. And that seems to have this. That seems to have that same extra depth. Yeah, that seems to be a little lighter in the body, a little light, the mouth's a little thinner, and the hop flavour is not quite as deep. There's more roundness in these, seems to be in these two. So I'm at the moment, we've only just, not really having a lot of drink, but I'm saying initially, I'm thinking this is the odd one out. Now, again, could be wrong. And visually, this first one does have really very little head. That middle one, it's only really got a ring around it. It's a little more on that one. But there does seem to be more head there than on that. And And that nose is the same. The hop, there's more oomph in the hops, even in the smell on that than that. So right now, without actually checking, I'm going to hazard that that is the BRY-97, the one on my left, the first one, which is thinner, and that is coming from. Okay, it finished a little bit lower. There's 1 point lower on the gravity, so you know one's going to. I think that should come across as a thinner body, but also that quicker ferment is going to be more active in driving off a lot of the hop compounds in that first couple of days of ferment. So the Simcoe and the Galaxy that's gone in and flame out and like in that hop stand are not going to be as impactful. So it's going to leave more. The Citra, which has gone in after day 5, is going to be more. It's going to sit more. So I believe that's going to be the odd man out. And we check the notes. BRY should be 24 with a dot, and it is 24 with a dot, which means I would assume these two are going to be a 24 with an X, which is what the US-05 is. And that's the first fella, and yep, 24 with an X. And that fella, yep, 24 with an X. So interesting result for what is, again, what is the same beer, exactly the same beer, barring the difference in the yeast. They are still reasonably different. I said, this is the BRY-97. It's got a nice nose. It's very clear, which obviously you can't see in that frosted glass. You can pull it out some clear glasses. And you can see there, I've stirred a little bit of crud up from the bottle, but that is nice and clear. I mean, that's only been in the fridge, I think, for about 3 days, so it hasn't even really compacted the yeast particularly. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's a nice beer. It's light. It's got some nice citrusy notes on the edge. It's got a little bit of there's just that little bit of danky, piney from the Simcoe, just balancing nice. No real. I'm not really picking up any of the Galaxy, which was the hop stand at 80 degrees for 20 minutes. But as I said, I think that's been really driven off a lot during that ferment. Now, the US-05, it's looking quite clear. It's hard to tell, I've got a little bit too much head on it. We'll get that in there. It's fairly clear as well, but if I've got to say anything, I would say that you can see there clearly, that BRY is clearer, it's cleaner, and again, that's 1 extra point lower, but see the difference in the head. The aroma is different. And the flavour's different. There's more. more of that Simcoe in the Galaxy has remained in that, and again I assume that's because it hasn't been driven off so much because the ferment has been less active, less furious with the 05. I actually think the 97's got a nicer flavour. It is cleaner than the 05. And I think in these two beers, personally, I prefer the BRY at 97. It's cleaner, it's crisper. It's not a lot, and that would very much come down, I think, to personal taste. Everyone's going to be different, so I think people would prefer that. But it's possibly a little too sweet for these. I mean, it's not a big body, it's only it's a 1008. There's not a lot there. But for me, '97 is the winner. Just, not by a lot. It looks a little bit better. It's actually got a little bit more. The nose is a little bit cleaner. It's not as heavy, but it's cleaner, and the taste is cleaner as well. The hops have reacted differently. But it's taken a bit of that sweet edge off the malt as well. So again, it's going to depend on what you're after. In this style, in a light pale with a little bit of hops, and you're not wanting a lot of malt jumping out at you, then I think the 97's winning on these results. If you're going if you're pushing more towards something that's a little bit more malt focused, into a golden ale, your ambers and stuff, then I think the 05 is probably going to do more of what you want than what the 97 is, where you want to keep a little bit of that sweetness. So up right now, I certainly can't say one yeast is superior to another. The 05 versus the M44, there was a clear difference. Where the 05 was clearly a superior finish than the M44. In this case, these both have created a nice finish on the beer. It's just different, and style-wise, you're going to get a different result. So, mark 1 for the 97 for this one. I'll certainly might be considering using it a bit more often for my summer ales and my and pales, where obviously normally I do more late boils than dry hop additions, so it's not going to make quite as much effect. So, but certainly can't say that both it's a bad yeast and don't use it. It's a great yeast. It does a great job. They both do a good job. Okay. But that's it for today. Going to be obviously more experiments coming along. Going to be trying more things, comparing other stuff. There's a lot of kit-based experiments coming up or in the works, are already happening. A couple, batch or two's already been bottled. A couple coming up, comparing different malts and again yeast and stuff in those kit beers. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, and a couple of variations on different kits, keep your eyes tuned. Hit the subscribe button down there if you haven't already, so you get notified when there's a new video coming out. If you have any questions about my thoughts on this, or the processes, or just in general, stick them down the bottom. No problem at all. If you disagree with me, feel free to say so. But for me today, I'm going to finish these couple off and ease me way into Friday night. So till I'm looking at you again and we're talking beer, brewing beer, drinking beer, good brewing.